You ever notice something strange? The moment you finally begin letting go, he suddenly reaches out. He sends a message, he checks in, he appears again. It feels like a coincidence, but there is often a deeper reason behind it. Today, I want to share a truth that many women overlook when a man starts creating distance. Here it is. A man does not always understand the value of a connection while he is constantly surrounded by it. Sometimes it is in the quiet moments away that he begins to recognize what he feels. Let that idea settle for a moment, because when you are always texting, always checking, always trying to repair the situation, you may unintentionally remove the space where reflection and realization can happen. The truth is, absence can create awareness. People often understand the importance of something when they experience its silence. When you are always available, always responding instantly, and always trying to prove your value, you can interrupt the natural process of someone recognizing your presence. I know it is difficult. I know silence can feel painful. It can feel like you are being ignored or forgotten. But a woman who understands the strength of her own presence becomes someone who is remembered differently. In this video, we are going to explore how to change your energy, stop giving more than you receive, and allow someone to truly recognize your value. Because when you learn to step back with confidence, stay calm, and stop chasing answers from someone who is pulling away, something changes. You stop reacting to his behavior and start becoming grounded in your own power. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will understand how to become the woman who stays on his mind, even after distance appears, especially when he chooses to step away. This is how you stop chasing and start creating attraction through self-respect. Let's talk about something that causes many women to lose their confidence and question everything when a relationship starts to change. When a man begins pulling back, many women immediately feel fear. In the beginning, everything feels easy. Conversations flow, the connection feels exciting, the attention feels strong. Then suddenly something shifts. Messages become shorter. He stops reaching out as often. His energy feels different. He seems busy, quiet, or emotionally far away. And then the questions begin. Did I do something wrong? Did I become too much? Is he no longer interested? Was the connection never real? But here is something important to understand. His distance does not automatically mean you failed. It does not always mean he stopped caring. Sometimes space creates a moment where a person processes their emotions and understands what they truly feel. Let me explain. Many people naturally move through phases of closeness and reflection. There are moments when someone wants connection, and there are moments when they need time to think, recharge, and understand themselves. It is not always rejection. Sometimes it is simply a period of adjustment. Think of it like a wave moving toward the shore and then returning before coming forward again. Space can create perspective. When someone steps back, they may begin asking themselves important questions. How do I feel when she is not around? Do I miss her presence? Do I appreciate what we had? Do I want to build something deeper? And this is where many women accidentally make things harder for themselves. They start chasing answers, they send more messages, they try to explain their feelings repeatedly, they attempt to bring back the same energy they had before. They focus all their attention on fixing the distance instead of protecting their own peace. But constant pressure rarely creates closeness. When someone feels chased, they often feel overwhelmed instead of connected. What creates a different reaction is calm confidence. A woman who can give space without losing herself sends a powerful message. She shows that her happiness does not depend on someone else's attention. She allows him to experience what life feels like without her constant effort, without her constant presence filling every empty moment. And if the connection has real depth, something important can happen. He begins to notice the difference. He remembers the conversations. He remembers the comfort. He remembers the feeling of being around someone who brought something unique into his life. Not because she demanded to be remembered, but because her presence naturally left an impact. This is when your energy becomes stronger than your words. Sometimes silence reveals what constant communication hides, and that is the moment everything begins to change. Many women believe the answer is to try harder, give more, explain more, and prove their importance. But the woman who stays connected to herself, who remains gentle while still honoring her own worth, who does not chase attention or beg for answers, becomes the woman who leaves a lasting impression. Because this is not about making him suffer. It is not about creating distance to manipulate a reaction. It is about protecting your inner peace. It is about understanding that if someone truly belongs in your life, they will return with honesty, effort, and clarity, not mixed signals and confusion. And if they do not return, that is not a failure. That is information. You did not lose someone. You discovered who they truly were. When a man creates distance, it becomes a reflection. It reveals where you may still be searching for approval outside yourself. It reveals where you are holding too tightly instead of allowing things to unfold naturally. And when you stop reacting emotionally to his withdrawal and start standing firmly in your own value, the entire energy shifts. You become the woman who does not chase connection because she understands she is worthy of genuine connection. She does not force someone to choose her. She allows the right person to recognize her. So the next time he becomes distant, slow down, take a breath. Do not panic. Do not plead. Do not abandon yourself trying to keep someone close. Stay grounded. Let the silence communicate what words cannot, because silence is not always a sign of weakness. Sometimes it is the strongest message you can send, and when someone truly values you, they will notice that change. They will feel the difference, and if they are ready, they will return with intention. There is something deeply attractive about a woman who remains steady when things around her become uncertain. She does not lose herself because a message takes longer than expected. She does not create endless stories in her mind when plans change. She does not chase, pressure, or try to control every outcome. She stays calm. She stays present. She stays connected to who she is. That energy is rare, and that is exactly why people notice it. This is what we call the unshaken mindset. And understand this clearly, it is not about becoming cold. It is not about pretending you have no feelings. It is not about acting like you do not care. Real confidence is not a performance. It is an inner decision that your emotional balance will not depend on another person's behavior. Many women have been taught that love means constantly proving yourself, always staying available, and continuously showing someone that you care. But sometimes, too much effort can create an imbalance. When you are always responding to his energy instead of listening to your own, you slowly give away your power. The woman with an unshaken mindset understands that someone else's silence or inconsistency does not define her value. She does not enter emotional battles trying to convince someone to appreciate her. She understands that love should not require constant persuasion. If someone needs to be convinced to choose you, they may not be ready to truly value what you offer. That quiet confidence creates something powerful. It creates space. It allows someone to come forward because they want to, not because they feel pressured. Stay with me, because this next part is where many women completely change the way they approach relationships. The unshaken woman understands that she can feel deeply and still remain centered. She is not emotionless. She is not disconnected. She simply chooses her response instead of allowing emotions to control her actions. She asks herself important questions before reacting. Is this coming from love, or is this coming from fear? Am I reaching out because I genuinely want to connect, or because I'm afraid of losing control? When fear appears, she does not let it lead her. She acknowledges it, understands it, and chooses wisdom instead. A woman who knows her worth does not change her standards depending on who enters her life. Her confidence does not rise when someone gives her attention and collapse when someone becomes distant. She remains stable. She remains grounded. She remains herself. And here is the surprising part. That kind of emotional stability creates curiosity. It makes someone wonder about the strength behind your peace. They begin asking themselves, how can she be so calm? How can she remain whole without constantly needing reassurance? That is when the energy changes. Not because you created a game, not because you tried to make someone jealous, but because you stopped abandoning yourself for someone else's approval. Many women give everything they have and hope someone finally chooses them, but the woman who truly understands her value chooses herself first and allows the right person to meet her at that level. And if someone cannot recognize that, she releases them with grace. No anger, No endless explanations, no desperate attempts for closure, because she knows her worth is not determined by another person's uncertainty. That is what makes her unforgettable. If you want to become more magnetic, not only in love, but in every area of your life, begin developing this mindset. Ask yourself, would the woman I am becoming chase something that does not choose her? Would she lose herself trying to hold on to something that creates constant confusion? Would she shrink her personality just to be accepted? If the answer is no, then the next step becomes clear. You rise above it. You remain kind but confident, soft but strong, open but never desperate. That is the energy people remember. That is the presence someone misses when it is gone. Not because you spent all your time trying to impress them, but because you became someone who no longer needed constant approval. This is the power of being emotionally grounded. Now let's understand something important. Attraction is not created only by appearance. Looks may create the first impression, but energy creates the lasting connection. The feeling someone experiences around you often matters more than anything else, and one of the most powerful energies a woman can develop is feminine energy. This is not about pretending to be someone else. It is not about being silent, submissive, or making yourself smaller. It is about moving through life with confidence, warmth, and self-respect. Feminine energy is the ability to be open while still having boundaries. It is softness combined with strength. It is walking into a room without demanding attention, yet naturally becoming someone people notice. One of the strongest expressions of feminine energy is knowing when to lean back. Not because you are playing a role, but because you trust yourself enough to stop forcing everything. It means allowing someone the opportunity to show effort. It means giving space for another person to step forward and demonstrate their intentions. You are not refusing to give love. You are simply no longer carrying the entire relationship by yourself. You understand that your value is not measured by how much you do for someone. It is reflected in the energy you bring. Another powerful quality of feminine energy is presence. When you are with someone, truly be there. Put distractions aside. Listen deeply. Smile naturally. Enjoy the moment. Let your personality shine. Feminine energy is connected to emotion, expression, and authenticity. It is not about creating drama. It is about being alive, engaged, and comfortable with who you are. People are drawn to someone who makes them feel something meaningful. They remember the person who brought warmth into their world. When you are connected to yourself, you create a different experience for everyone around you, and that is where true attraction begins. It starts not with chasing someone else's attention, but with becoming fully present in your own life. When you are fully connected to the present moment, confident in your expression and comfortable being exactly who you are, he does not just notice you, he remembers you. He remembers the feeling of being around you. He remembers the peace, the warmth, and the energy you brought into his life. Another powerful quality is mystery. You do not have to reveal every detail about yourself immediately. You do not need to explain your entire story in one conversation. Allow some things to unfold naturally over time. A woman with strong feminine energy does not rush to prove herself. She does not overshare to gain approval. Instead, she creates curiosity. She allows someone to discover her slowly, one layer at a time. She gives someone the opportunity to ask questions, to become interested, and to genuinely want to know more. The woman who is not constantly trying to impress becomes the woman people want to understand. Because when there is depth beneath the surface, curiosity grows, and curiosity creates a deeper connection. Your body language also speaks before your words ever do. Small changes can create a powerful difference. Relax your shoulders, take calm breaths, keep your body open, make comfortable eye contact, then naturally look away. Smile when you truly feel happy. Move with confidence instead of rushing. Be aware of your own presence, not because you are trying to create an effect, but because you are comfortable inside yourself. That kind of confidence is attractive because it comes from authenticity. It communicates, I am comfortable with who I am, and that energy is naturally magnetic. Finally, your standards matter. Knowing what you accept and what you do not accept is one of the strongest expressions of self-respect. Communicating your needs calmly, protecting your peace, and walking away from situations that constantly drain you is not a weakness, it is strength. It is A woman who values her own peace more than she fears losing someone becomes incredibly powerful. She is not desperate to hold on to anyone because she trusts that what is truly meant for her will not require her to abandon herself. When you bring these qualities together, creating space, being present, keeping healthy mystery, carrying confident body language, and maintaining strong standards, you create an energy that people do not just notice. They respect it, they remember it, they are drawn toward it. Because the goal is not to control someone's feelings or force someone to want you. The goal is to become the kind of person whose presence naturally creates attraction. Not because you are constantly trying harder, but because you are living from your own confidence and authenticity. True feminine energy does not chase approval. It does not quietly ask, "Am I enough?" It carries the belief, "I know my value." And that inner certainty changes everything. So now imagine this. He comes back. Maybe it has been a few days. Maybe it has been weeks. Maybe he disappeared completely. And suddenly one day your phone lights up with a simple message. "Hey," or maybe, "I was thinking about you." And immediately your emotions rise. Your heart starts beating faster. You feel excitement, confusion, happiness, and maybe even hope. But before you respond, pause, because this exact moment is where many women unknowingly give away their power. The way you respond when someone returns can shape the entire direction of what happens next. If your first reaction is to send a flood of messages, demand explanations, or instantly forgive everything because you are relieved he came back, that is not true connection. That is an emotional reaction. And there is a big difference between responding from confidence and responding from fear. People can feel that difference. The strongest thing you can do in that moment is not to prove your feelings. It is to stay connected to yourself. Keep your energy calm. Keep your confidence steady. Let your actions come from self-respect, not from the fear of losing him again. So, what should you avoid saying when he suddenly comes back? Do not immediately start with questions like, "Where have you been?" or "Why did you disappear?" And do not rush to say, "I missed you so much," even if those feelings are real. Your emotions are valid, but timing matters. When you immediately place all your feelings on the table, you can accidentally communicate that you were waiting for him to return. It can create the impression that he can leave and come back whenever he wants without rebuilding trust or showing consistency. Do not immediately begin explaining everything you felt while he was gone or trying to make him understand your pain. Someone who wants to return should also be willing to understand the impact of their actions. You do not have to carry all the emotional responsibility alone. If he wants to be part of your life again, his actions should show that intention. Another thing to avoid is responding with anger disguised as humor. Statements like, "Oh, so you finally remembered me," may feel satisfying for a moment, but they often create more distance instead of creating understanding. Protecting your peace does not mean becoming cold. It means choosing a response that reflects the person you have become. Stay calm, stay respectful, stay grounded. And this next part is important, because the way you handle his return can reveal your emotional strength. If you are open to having a conversation, respond with calm confidence. Keep your energy balanced. You do not need to punish him, and you do not need to rush toward him either. A simple response like, "Hey, it is good to hear from you. What made you reach out?" creates space for honesty. It does not attack him, but it also does not allow him to avoid responsibility. It invites a real conversation instead of a casual return with no purpose. If he sends something unclear like, "I miss you," do not immediately jump back into the emotions of the past. Stay present. You can respond with something simple like, "I hope you have been doing well." Calm, mature, respectful. It shows that you are open, but you are not abandoning yourself. And if you are unsure about whether reconnecting is right for you, that is completely okay. You can say, "I have been focusing on myself, and I need to think about whether reconnecting feels right for me." That one statement changes the entire dynamic, because now you are not simply waiting to be chosen, you are also choosing. You are considering whether this person fits into the life you have built. That is the energy of someone who knows their value. The reason this approach is so powerful is because it is not a game. It is not manipulation. It is emotional maturity. You are not trying to make him chase you. You are simply showing that your life continued while he was away. Let him recognize that your happiness was not dependent on his presence. Let him understand that returning does not automatically restore the same access he once had. Your attention, your trust, and your energy are valuable. They should be respected. And remember this, the way you respond teaches people what you will accept. When you protect your peace, maintain your kindness, and hold on to your standards, you show that your love comes with self-respect. If he is willing to meet you there, the connection can grow stronger. If he is not, you still remain whole. So the next time he comes back, do not panic, do not rush, do not try to prove anything. Pause and remember who you are. You are not someone waiting to be chosen. You are someone choosing what deserves your heart. You do not need to search for the perfect sentence or the perfect response. What truly matters is the energy behind your words. That is what he will notice. That is what he will remember. Your presence will always communicate more than any carefully planned message. Let's understand something important. You are valuable, not because you announce it, not because you try to convince people of it, but because you live from that truth. And when you genuinely understand your own worth, something changes inside you. Your energy becomes different. People begin to respond to you differently, not because you became someone else, but because you finally started honoring who you already are. Now, what does that transformation really look like? Becoming the woman who knows her value is not about acting superior. It is not about pretending you do not care. It is not about becoming impossible to reach or creating distance just to get attention. That is not confidence. That is an act. And people can sense when something is forced. Real confidence is peaceful. It is steady. It is the quiet understanding that says, I know what I bring into someone's life. I do not need to chase, prove, or compete for a place that is meant for me. It is the woman who enters a room without searching for approval. She is not looking around to see who notices her because she is already connected to herself. She is not performing. She is simply present. And that kind of presence creates a natural attraction. The biggest shift begins when you stop asking, does he like me? And start asking, do I actually like the way I feel when I am around him? That one question changes everything, because now you are no longer waiting for someone else to decide your worth. You are observing, you are choosing, you are paying attention to whether someone's energy matches your own peace. This is where your power returns. Prize energy comes from understanding that you are not competing with another woman. You are not trying to prove you are better. You are not comparing your journey to someone else's. When you accept your own uniqueness, your story, your personality, and your presence, comparison starts to disappear. You realize something powerful. Nobody can bring your exact energy into the world. Nobody can replace who you are. And when you truly believe that, your focus changes. It becomes less about whether he responds quickly, whether he notices you, or whether he chooses you. The question becomes whether his actions and his energy deserve access to your life. One of the fastest ways to step into this mindset is to stop lowering your standards just to keep someone close. If someone is inconsistent, confusing, or constantly making you question where you stand, you do not respond by trying harder. You create space, not to punish them, not to create a reaction, but because your peace is valuable. A person may not always explain what they are feeling, but they can often sense the energy you carry. When you are constantly anxious, overthinking, or attached to a specific outcome, your energy can communicate a message you never intended. It can silently say, please choose me. And that is not the energy of someone who knows their value. The woman who understands her worth does not beg for a place in someone's life. She chooses herself first. She allows others to step forward and meet her at that level. If they are willing, the connection grows. If they are not, she releases them without losing herself. And this is where the real transformation happens, when your energy changes.